Hello and welcome to all the men and women of the West. I'm Joe. It's another solo video here. This time I'm going to relay my thoughts on the new Gollum game. I sat down and over the course of a week watched the entire playthrough while I was doing other things, mostly drawing. So here we go. And I still maintain, why was this even made? What is the point? And this doesn't look like a great game. Some of the visuals look good enough. Gandalf isn't so bad. But overall, my opinion is that the idea of a stealth game of Lord of the Rings is pointless. There's no need for it. It is utterly ridiculous. And ultimately, why bother getting the game? It's $60. It looks pretty glitchy. And honestly, given all the material they had access to, they went for Gollum. They could have made something involving the Witch King of Angmar. Maybe something such as I've seen online all over the place, the Angmar Wars, which were a great set of conflicts between the kingdoms of Rhudaur, Arthedain, and Cardolan. Or you could have had something about Numenor, since that's pretty hot these days. You could have done a million and one things, but Gollum. A stealth game as well. Now, don't get me wrong, I've played my share of stealth games. I've played open world games. But I got tired of the concept almost 10 years ago. And I kind of moved away from video games overall as a whole. So to see a Lord of the Rings game announced was exciting. To see that it was about Gollum, less so. To see that it was a stealth game, well, let's just say that killed what little buzz there was for me. And I can't really understand why this is so hard for some of these studios to get through their heads. Do something grand. This seems like the least grand idea imaginable for Lord of the Rings. With the story of this game basically being Gollum, I think, escaping from Mordor and also later from the elves, which it's just so utterly pointless. And I know some people are going to say, well, I had a great time. Well, good. I'm glad you had a great time. But the trouble is that this was probably not something that I was ever going to be keen on. And that, how do I put it? I just can't quite get behind this sort of thing. It just seems to me like a lot of these studios are not getting the message. Some are, like, you get some like Nintendo who do some decent work. You get others who, like Koei Tecmo, do some decent work. You get Asobo, the ones who made the Plague Tale games. Heck, those are a great set of games all about stealth kills and whatnot. And I think it's pretty open world. Not sure. But that's how you do it. Whereas what they did with Gollum doesn't... No, that's not... It just... This really annoys me. And what makes it worst is that they're probably not going to learn their lesson from this. That just adds to the frustration. And it adds to the fact that to the exasperation also, I think. Because when you have indie creators and studios out doing in terms of game quality what the AAA studios are doing, it only makes it just begs the question, why are we even bothering with some of these AAA games? And I know this is becoming a rant about large games, but sometimes it's just Now, that said, for every really, really terrible game, you get a really good one. The upcoming Moria game looks pretty exciting. So hopefully that one will deliver where this one did not. Because this one just makes me glad I had the wherewithal before buying it to at least check it out first. So, and I came very close to buying it anyways because Lord of the Rings. I'm kind of obsessed with that. And am very, very keen to just accrue more and more Lord of the Rings and even Hyborian Age stuff. Far more so than almost any other franchise. And this is a bucket of cold water. And I know I sound very, very bitter. But it's just, there are some good things here. Like, Gandalf looks great. The dungeons actually look very, very good. A lot of the game design looks great. But the problem is that the overall game structure is not appealing. The style of gameplay doesn't fit with Lord of the Rings, I think. Lord of the Rings should be, well, to be quite honest, it should be something that is grander and larger than life, I think. So, and even if you do something a little more low-key, that works, but I don't think anyone was looking for a Gollum game. And I am pretty sure I'm not the only one who has that sentiment. But if I am, let me know in the comment section. After all, we're always keen here on the channel to, how shall I put it, to see different opinions, as it is good to see that sort of thing and to know that sometimes it is just you, because, you know, you can always stand to learn. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like and that subscribe button as though you were Eowyn taking down the Witch King of Angmar.